you're ready. Actually, you're ready to move into the action side of things, and it's connecting you with the public or socially soon as well. This is a very favorable time. As of yesterday, we have phased in. So it was a little energy that was kind of, it just seemed like there was a little bit of no activity. It was just that it was wrapping up some things. Thursday also represents the moving forward. We're still in the same chapter, that we're still in the, like, you're still in the conversation of, so I'm about to start this new ideas, and there's really not a reason why I shouldn't, but I can still see, I mean, me speaking, I can see why we would have reservations about proceeding. The idea is that we're now with the correct persons to help us, to assist in this new direction, career direction. Of course, this is a must needed path because it does connect with other areas. I know you're very specific in this one, but other areas you'll tell they are connected in some way. But you also have the path number two, which is you and someone or anyone else, and this is going on over the next 2 months, or month and whatever's left of this one and the next. It's about a week, month and 1 week. So it's all about you being connected in an action. Like when we say working with people or talking with, communicating with people, we mean it may happen even directly, because it's like we're working on the same project. So why are we not communicating? It's like, okay, let's stay in touch since we are working together. And of course, this time is, well, yes, we would like that very much. We will need to communicate, from here and there, as we're fulfilling the goals. So that's what's going on. And this is about the money. It's purely monetary. It's about the career. It's about, like we say, how everything meets, like the process of where it reaches, okay, now you're receiving checks and deposits, etc., and everything that comes with the reward of that position, because you are holding the rewards in your hands, in my symbols. So you're tapping into touching the manifestation world, the monetary world, that's associated with all of this. So you would say going forward means, or getting, or let's say, okay, we've been on the fence, so climbing down from the fence and getting onto the horse, so to speak. We are ready, and we're getting tangibles. We're going for the tangibles, including people who are, I need to tangibly materialize this plan, this career direction, meaning I need to make a few calls. This is done. We are involved with the people whom we are calling and speaking with. By the way, I did a little, I know it's a little extra on the other questions besides what we're focusing on, but you're surrounded by a ton of people, by the way. There's like many personalities that just showed up in the different style of reading, and it's a additional conversation. Like Soul Tribe and Venus planet is in the middle. So I am 100% certain that those who are around you now, and also maybe incoming individuals in this space or circle, these people are here to align with you as your team. They're your team. And I'm seeing personal money. There's a lot of that going on too, like your personal resources, money or time. It's like everybody's here to grow and make money. Everybody has their intentions for sure. Everyone, but it's going to be different than someone trying to block it for whatever the reason, with insecurities, or just the nature of humanities. That sometimes these individuals are like, we are glad to be here, thank you for, I want to be a part of this is something I wanted to do for a long time. It's that kind of vibe. So I believe that you're gonna feel encouraged, even motivated. The idea that, wow, we're different peoples, but we're getting on well, at least for the sake of the work. We're at least getting the work done. Because this is a soul tribe, and it just means that with a little effort, people come together and and get the job done, do something big for society and the universe. But it doesn't necessarily have to mean everyone is all super cozy. In fact, I more describe it as if business soulmates were companions, they would be like soulmates. These would be soulmates for sure. So I've people always ask, it's like this is almost kind of too good to be true. Then it's like, is this because it's romantic in nature? It's like no, it's purely business. All you're gonna get from it is business, but at the same time, it's going to feel like, wow, this person, I really like them, because everything is just, so like comfortable. And it's just naturally organic, going in the direction. No one's always at each other. No one's going out of their way to make today your rainy day, so I love what you're moving into in your decision. Oh, and yesterday is a Thursday does represent we actually received our answer all the way. Like the answer that we needed uh, when we say, okay, I've gotten my answer, I've got my sign. It's time for me to do what I intend to do. It's like I got full permission. Thursday was that represented that day. It's like a bottom line day. Hmm. Yeah. So this would mean that this would be very interesting for you these past couple of days, past 2 days especially. The way that this was read, that Saturday, Sunday, this past Saturday, Sunday, that was for us individually to do work, but then the 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that was the fulfilling more or less of everything. But the whole process is 1 week and a half, and then from Thursday to the end of this month, August, is another 1 week and a half. So it's a total of 3 weeks. For this entire process. So yes, this is what's going on this week, the remainder of timing of this week and into the next before we switch again. We're going to switch again soon. So we're 2 days into this final half, the 1 week and a half. We're 2 days in, being Friday. It's Friday, but we're well on our way, and things and these people, the events, and for your business affairs are right there. They are here in terms of like, well, what are my concerns? What are their hangups here? So those are the things I imagine where your mind is going to be at. You might even start getting some kinds of types of thoughts. Well, why wouldn't it work? Like what's stopping me now? Or, well, this person is not even interacting with me, in a good way, like somebody who is very difficult. You're saying this person is not even in my conversations, let alone can block what I'm trying to do. So that is that sort of a general rough sketch. That's my way of doing those. But we can go into more of the different methods that will give more deeper meaning. I would like to do one emotional side, but we can also look at the success of the reading. Generally, we're given the idea that this is the right path, but I didn't go too much into the reward stuff, but we can if you like, if we have the time. But one thing is for certain emotionally, or empathically, if however you would like to phrase that. Um, they say that this is a return to something career wise that you've always wanted to do. So it'd be like a charmed dream or an idea that maybe you've had for a while. Something to that effect would have resurfaced. This is the kind of thing that you say, if I'm going to do it, it would be now, or I never know when the next time the opportunity arrives. So it does kind of give that feeling that I better act on this now. But on the other hand, yes, it feels like once in a lifetime, for a big second chance at something big. Um, but it does feel like, wow, if I do this, it's the direction of life that if I wouldn't if I had to skip this journey first time, that means this is unexplored territory. But if it works and everything comes together like I imagine that it would the first time, that would be pretty amazing. I would just be doing it at this in this time frame of my life, stage of my life, which is beautiful because universe supported as we were bringing in the new year. So he said this actually last year. They said, don't worry about, like, some people of us are worrying about our age, like if we're too old or what if we get bored with it now, and that's just not the case. They said you basically universe even provision for us time. So it will say we even know how much time you would be still be interested in it. We know exactly the energy that you would, like the same energy and otherwise that you had the first time. You actually still have that same energy in this time. So it's like you are deciding to do this like 5 minutes ago and you pondered over it, you paced, and then you said, okay, I'm going to do it. But although in real time, well, in our 3D world, yes, time has passed, has since passed, but you are still more than capable physically, emotionally, imaginatively, and universe is ready for you now. As it, when I say universe in this universally, I mean people are where they exactly the correct players, because sometimes we'll have a circle of people and then that will flop and then another troop will come in another troop will come in and play the same, you give them the same script and then they do everything perfectly and they actually finish the play, like where you get the reward, like you're holding up the trophy and everyone is high-fiving and toasting each other. The first group was like, trying to rush us off, like, yeah, we're gonna go our own way, and we're that group was never meant to play those roles, but you were meant to become, like they say, the muses were around, give you a little bit of inspiration. They say give you a little bit of a taste of what is possible, and you say, well, if why didn't it, they do me like that? But then it flips, and now you got this group saying all of a sudden, oh, we want to do this, and you're like, universe, you're not going to trick me this time. You have me believing, and then now it's everything is going to just work and come together. Yeah, right. But truly, it's going to come together in a very dream like. That's what people had to describe it. I feel like I'm in a dream, like I'm in a movie or something, and it's gonna feel exactly like that. But it's your real life, though. It's real. It's just that we had so many other types of encounters and not never this one. And then this one finally is like something is finally going my way. I hear about it, but it's actually happening to me. So you have questions, and truly they said this is something you'll say it's not me. Is it my optimism, or am I raising this up to a sort of like a pedestal? And it's like, no, this is representing you have choices now. Well, today you have choices. So that's where that's going, and it's pretty much a one, like what you call it. This one is not broken up into. They say, oh, you're at a crossroads. This one I wouldn't even consider a crossroads. It's one long road, minus the negativity in the center of the road. It could be in a person, or otherwise. That's all cleared now. So we have cleared our path, like with a big broom, just swept it off. We could visibly see the journey, and the other people on the other side of that are also journeying towards us, and we are in the same light, same thoughts, more or less. And so you can really bring this union of people together to working together. That's why I get to sense. Well, this is an emotional reading, so, or in the empathic reading, is just describing like many reasons to become more engaged in this, particularly in this direction. Like you're like saying, so you are ready. You are absolutely ready for this, to embark on this journey with success underway. And it shouldn't. Well, to my understanding, things are also going to move faster. So you like, some of us, we might be thinking 3 years out, but I'm like, oh no, far less time than that. It can be like within the year's time or less. It could be like 3 months, 6 months. If they say, well, it's going to take, usually these things take a while for them to make up their mind, and then they're ready to do it like within a month's time. In this time frame, I would say 1 week and half, you will know that you're completely going forward by September. By September, you're going to know that you're going in this direction, and you probably would have met, at least heard of the group. You would have talked with maybe the one that's going to, speak, So you're already going to be actually in contact once you completely, become immersed and connected to this idea. You go forward with it, it's pretty much you're going to get a quick response, more or less, is what I would say. So even although planning and all that for success with it, of course, that's all that still has a role, but you'll find that people are very much in motion. So this is more like what I was describing, like what do you get out of this? It represents, okay, they said that you generate two or three vibrations. One is to be recognized. Two, you're a bit of a teacher or some sort of instructor. So that means you also will bring things to people that they will learn. So you definitely are a contributor, no doubt. And then the third one is that you're seeking independence. So, okay. I was curious about that. Like, it feels like this is impressions where you're wanting to move into an independent path, and this is definitely showing, reflecting that you are in that independent space. The unstable is again drama, arguments, unstable voice, not having a voice. Okay, so that's what they've dealt with. So you this one means so I have all those things, and also we already know not too much butting heads with anybody, and also stable environment. That's the first thing they mention about having the finances to pull this off and the resources, but also the characters, the people to pull it off. Then they said, yes, you will have your space to work, privately or quietly. This is a shift. So this is actually as we're moving towards end of summer. So it's like end of summer into fall. We're in that Leo, August, Virgo. All that is like switching over to fall, the fall astral signs. So there we go. It's also this is realistic. That's what we mustn't be denying. We have at some point we have to say, although I'm still dreamy, I'm still on the fence, but it's like I know this is real, and I do have to make a decision. So it was like we had to eventually get to a place where we say, no matter what I think of this and my doubts, it is real. Now, my thoughts on if this is something that I need today, or if I am dedicated, if I want to do this, maybe I have other things in my mind. I can consider those, but it's absolutely authentic. This journey you're on, like it's a wonderful vision. Is all I'm saying. My bottom line is you have a wonderful vision that will bring you great abundance. So that's that aspect. I think that you're absolutely ready in that regard, of course. And if you have other sides to the question, something that maybe universe hadn't brought out, sometimes the universe brings things out, but it's a lot of information can be shot at you. So you could say, look, I need to know some more. What I need to know this more in detail. Mm, mm, sure. Mm, 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 mm. Right. Okay. Mm. Yes. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely. You know, what's interesting about your path, they mentioned that relationships is plugged into this path. That's what I meant by other sides to this relationship, but we're still trying to focus on the one, but now we're on this one, this other one about relationships. They said that yes, he's still very much a part of your 3D world. Some things are unraveling for you. He is still a part of your journey. He actually is your companion. And I do feel as though vibrationally, you know, he's been called your life companion. He's associated with with a house together. So like with your fourth house, he's your partner or companion in the fourth house, which means that you both even cohabitate together in a great way, in a nice way. You also have Venus also does, okay, represents your group that you mentioned, but this also represents partnership. So from out of this group, your gentleman is in the midst of these soul tribe, but he's your being that he is your soulmate. He's your actual companion, soulmate, I mean, intimately. Okay, the other ones are, we know who they are. And then you do have here some Venus elements that represents, I think that you both have in mind of a type of relationship. What kind of relationship? I think it's like a union. Marriage, of course, is defined the way you both would choose to define it, whether that's by paper or psychically, spiritually, but you both still possess that engagement, is what I can see, because you both have learned in the past. Okay, so in the other area we described earlier, you're the teacher. In this one, you both have learned, like as students of life. So, like they said, in between the learning is everything about the past, like being together and having grown today together. Still connected. It's a little dry in some areas, but that's going to be resolved soon. Also, at the same time as things are unraveling with your plans, I get the sense that especially within the next week and a half, September is the stronger. And that is because it's associated with health on the other side of your learning. So you've also learned to be healthy in a relationship, healthy partner. You've learned all of that. So this is wonderful how it's going to eventually get to where it's exciting for both of you. Well, like again, you both are moving towards one another in a good way. There's also, you both have a plan, and it's about, but okay, so you both want to take things to the next level. It isn't just he wants to take things to the next level as well. You Okay, here's the thing. You both have to find peace before it happens. You both have to find peace in each other. That means you have to be comfortable with what you've discovered or what you know of him, and that means he has to give you the reason why you can relax. He has to like show you that, okay, is he solid and is he loyal? You know, he has to show you that. It's not, this is not saying you have to trust him. No, he has to give you a reason to trust him, that you can trust him, I mean. But we're looking in the back of the book for answers, as in, well, first of all, can he be trusted? Since they bring that up, they say that uh, you two together, it's the right path, and then it describes, okay, well, is, like, what way is the wrong way, or what way is the right way? What are you both are supposed to be? Friend, business partners, what partner? Well, here it says partnership. In your partnership, other types of loving experience will take place, which I believe that means, like, something that is, you're both are what you're passionate about in your heart, like working with homes and things like that, and the elderly and things like that, and children. I think that is connected to he and you. as a, like, how they say couples are sometimes given assignments. I believe that's what he and you will have together, a shared assignment in life. And it can go beyond the things I said, but basically, in one word, it means, there's charity elements here. So I think it means, of course, we know that before readings have mentioned it does, when they say charity, that's one of the, by the way, symbols that applies to you when I read you. Charity occasionally will come up, symbols that represent you, but it doesn't. But they, when they first introduced, they said it doesn't mean charity as in the whole altruistic. You're flying to India. Or it does not have to mean anything like that. Or you're like helping the homeless, or you just giving, 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 giving. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means just like creating something useful for the universe, and it could be all for profit. Okay, but it could be such an amazing project plan that, like, you're getting like rewarded by the city. You're like, the city's like have you in magazines, things like in the city magazine and things like that. Yeah, like, guess who's on the scene, and then showcasing you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 I'm so happy you brought that up again. Remember earlier I said these past 3 days have been extraordinarily quiet. That's all us all around. Even in your business, vibrations have been extraordinarily quiet. The way that I chop this, people have asked like, "What's going on?" I feel like I'm in the dark on things. I'm like, it's gonna get darker Thursdays yet, but it means that on their side, they're doing things. So like we're doing things right, and then we're like, okay, I'm expecting that person to get in touch with me, and then we can do things together. Okay, but on their side, it's like they're putting on their socks. They're gonna go fry up some good, over easies, or easy overs. So they're gonna, something like that, and they're like trying to get up and get going and get at them, and okay, rise and shine, metaphysically, spiritually. It's like, okay, I'm ready. It's Thursday, okay, which should be around this time frame. I know we got to cross over the weekend, but he's gonna be in touch fairly soon. It's like the closer we get to these next few days left, like what, maybe 8 days. We're getting closer soon to that solid 1 week, and then it's going to be back around, and but it's definitely going to pick up. Like, he's going to be back in formation, like relationship wise, come September. He's in there. It's time for him to see his lady, his love, and that's going to be wonderful for you to experience as well. Since now that you have said, okay, I'm 1,000% sure, this money is going to, by the way, now that you've accepted it, the money must manifest towards you, because it's your um, true path. We know this is your soul path, but also the money assigned to it is specifically assigned to you. Energetically, it's not going to, it will move around and untouched by others. It's the treasures of the heart spiritually. So it's going to find you these resources to get into these, you said, these trainings. Hmm. Yes. But as will your partner make his way towards you, and walking past anybody, he's got to get past to get to you. this this time frame, this week, we're speaking in terms of weeks. Okay, in 1 week, I mean. All right. Ooh, yes. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. Yes. Okay. Right. Okay. And yes, and I believe that the spirit world had been begging for you both to do something like this for a long time together because it will unify you both. I'm glad that he agreed, because that would have been a concern if, okay, but will he say yes? Will he agree? That would have absolutely made, I would have been very nervous with that. Absolutely. I hear you, see you. I love the idea that you're, so when you're this, time frame, what they call it, you are going to be in the right place. You're entering to this next stage in that it's a Virgo vibration, which means also you're a healer. You're in the healing vibration. So the industry you're entering is very healing. You working a lot. You're gonna have a lot of hours under your belt. So this is good. Like you said, next Thursday. So next Thursday, it would also bring healing into your relationship as well. Which I believe, first time they explained this to us, it was for you two to mend. So it's like, yep, it would mend you two together by going together. Hmm. We'll do. Have a lot of fun for us out there. And yes, and lots of light for protection for both of you. And out there in Miami. Blessings. Hi. Oh, hi, everybody. Okay, 1 second. I'll be right back. Yes. 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 Okay, I'm back. Hey, everybody. Hi. I know y'all are like, what are you doing? I'm getting on here. Oh, I hope everybody's having a great day. Um, and let's see what's going on here. So, I see y'all in the chat. I'm learning to get on here. I just had to like make some things happen. Get this started. Y'all don't mind if I like don't have the lights on. I mean, right? My head. It's cloudy out and I'm up here enjoying my tea, warm tea. And I know it's a little murky. I know. But uh, right now, I don't know. I'm associating light with heat, and it's not the brightness. It's just like I keep thinking heat. So yeah, I know it's like turn on a light or two. I know, I know. Oh gosh. So I'm back in. I wanted to like try to see what's going on here in this new day. I wanted to enjoy. Oh gosh. I don't know. What about that light? Just like one light. Okay, let me see if this is too bright. Well, it's not too bright. Okay, it's a little lighter. And so I can turn on there. All right, that's as good as I'm gonna do. Okay, that's about as good as it gets. So, all right, let me go get a little bit more coffee. I'll leave the, I'll leave that on. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, now I feel a lot better. Okay, I know. All right, now I'm coming back in. All right, so good. All right, so I'm back in and got my lights on. I'm going to like relax. This light's not too bad. It's a ring light. So I'm looking at YouTube's camera. On this one, look at yeah, I don't know which one is better. This one, it looks like, I don't know about the lighting. On the YouTube, the lighting looks fine. So that's what I'm picking up on. So I'm assuming that the lighting is okay. All right. So it's better than it looking kind of pitchy. All right. So, yeah, I had to like, this is my, well, okay, so I guess all week I've actually been going live every day at 7 o'clock. So, okay, so I had a, it's okay, so we're nearly 1 hour in. I'm having an eventful day. Yeah, so I was up bright and early, getting ready. Um, oh. On the other hand, although I mean, oh, I had some crazy dreams. I was in another dimension. Um, I phased into a dimension, and it was like somehow I became absorbed into a dream character, and I was in first dimension. So here's the story. So I was in this dimension where there were like, okay, there were I guess the mortals of that dimension, right? Humans. And then there were a species, like an alien species. And um, they were very brilliant, but they're very combatant. Um, I mean, like full on. Like I'm talking about, they were going full Viking on everybody, and I mean everybody indiscriminately. But like men, women, especially the women, and they were doing the most heinous of things, right? And and I was like, it was like I was observing, but it was so crazy that I kind of got pulled into the dream, because usually there I'm usually like it's like I'm an NPC, like, oh, ignore that one, like, or if I'm around, like, it'll things will go the other direction, things like that. And also it's kind of like I'm alive, like I'm floating there, so I'm like an observer, more or less. But I also can get, well, in this case, I was pulled into someone, but it changed. It didn't. It picked another victim. In other words, it didn't come for me, because immediately I was like, they were trying to find their way out, and like I was trying to find my way out. Like I was thinking, like they were like, I wonder if I can get away. But here's the thing: you try to get away, it it it's kicking everybody in and doing everything else as it's still bringing that energy to you. I mean, it was like when they say bloodlust, I couldn't comprehend it, but this is like, I guess it's close to what a bloodlust would look like. And I'm like, I mean, doing combos, and do all kinds of craziness. I'm like, what is that? And then on top of that, they like this, like there's the one that I keep looking at is like the hunt, like the warrior hunter slash, I don't know, leader. And then there were like other ones, but they were more like kind of like they were like passive, but they were like, like what do you call, like directing people to go a very particular way. By the way, what was the end result to what was happening? Well, it would was ripping people apart. It made me think of like eating them. So it's like it was definitely, it was alien, parasitical, and crazy, in so many ways. And in this dimension, um, it would it was like consciously aware, like on the battlefield where everybody was. Like if you were trying to figure out how to like get away, like far as you can, that kind of thing, it would know and see or recognize that's what you were doing and start bringing the fight to you. Like there was no escape, none. Um, oh, and it too could, I guess, sort of, like I guess, go inside people as well. On top of that, so yeah, it was insane. High libido, high energy, is like high, like intense in every sense of the word, but nothing. It wasn't like it was not like impressive as in, oh boy, like your soulmate type. No, it was like, how can I get out of here kind of situation, because it was no falling in love with that thing. But anyway, oh, and they had technologies like the passive ones were like setting up these alien like advanced technologies where they could see everything going on, see you, identify you. They were identifying people, getting everything about that person onto their systems. Yeah, it was insane. And I was like, it looked like they were setting up for Meat Factory, by the way. So I mean, they were occupying, it was like everything all in one, including cannibalism, if they were human. But they could take on the guise of a human, but they were alien in this dimension. Yeah, it was the craziest dream or visitation that place I've ever visited. I do visit different dimensions a lot. Um, there have been worse. There are worse dimensions, but yeah, this one was pretty intense. So, of course, of course, I ruled out. I wasn't looking at it like anything that would provoke that, like that travel experience. Like I wasn't watching, like aliens, nothing like that. It was just this just happened to be, I guess, sort of like a mental plane or astral place that I occasionally I visit. Sometimes I'm on my way to places. Like I'm. It's before I started traveling. By the way, like it was like I was part of a team of people who were going to go into the astral place. They were like going to the moon in the astral realm, but it was the astral realm moon. And then there's been places where I would go to like different planets, and when you land, and then they could put uh, push a button, and then the frequency would reveal a complete civilization. Like there's some civilization that live on the light side of planets and not the dark side. Like there's a dark side and there's nothing over there. They don't live there. They inhabit the light side. That's always, I think, a constant, believe it or not. It's a constant. So it's not or either it's a constant or it orbits at the same time, but it's always in the light. My favorite one is kind of it reminds you of Earth, but it's not Earth. Like it's technologically different. And, maybe you think of it as being advanced. Um, well, it's peaceful. I mean, only thing is that it's political things. So, like, the political ways their person could still find themselves, getting locked up or something, for, like somebody who's a sheriff, and then somebody who is also connected to their state in some way and has a lot of control. That's the so it's still a little shaky. But other than that, I mean, that's like one place that was cool. So there's a few places, um, but all of them are definitely different. I've never visited a place where it was like perfect. It's like there's I don't know if there. I don't think. Maybe I don't know if I am not ready to see the perfect stuff, but there's isn't a place that is perfect. It's always either the people there are freaky or they're being dominated and by some by other. things, or there's something, creepy going on, like the more you get into the societal sides. There's only been twice where I guess the society actually looked at us as visitors, or we were recognized as visitors. At least they've openly, maybe they all knew, but it's like they openly say, like, how long are you staying? The person who I was, I guess, chaperone with dealt with identification. We're just here, for a visit. We'll be here. Yes, we'll be mindful, where, to not go over here, things like that. And, anything you want to. Now, one thing is for certain, everybody kind of, to my understanding, kind of pulls away from you. Like they distance themselves. Like they don't, ooh, want to do your hair or something, or like talk to you about their culture. Don't take you out on a little date, little excursion. Nothing like that. They're like, it's like everything pulls back, and then then I could drive a vehicle. By the way, the vehicle, it has buttons rather than, well, in this particular dimension, one of the dimensions have like, you go inside and it's pretty much, it does everything itself. It's a matter of pushing buttons. It's not like a lot of buttons like a computer. It's like, or like a row of buttons of like, and it just goes where it's going. So that's one of my favorite civilizations because it's different, and it gives it a feel of advancement, and also they're friendly. Like they don't have drama. Although you don't want to get on anybody, especially the sheriff's there on his bad side. Everyone else is thin, but he's also heavy. He's a heavy guy. By the way, you know what I mean, heavy. He's like a big guy, dark hair, and the facial features. Everyone else is like sort of slim build. Um, so yeah, but anyway, the one that I had, or place I visited, there's so much I want to share with you about traveling. Um, and but every time I want to do it, it's like you can't. But I think that I think you need to know certain things. Um, like dream, like experiences that even I am having. That's what I'm trying to say. Like there's certain people who have these kinds of travel experiences, and a lot of times you see them like, can I at least say, in the intellectual world, you know. So fascinating story. Like you kind of like, if it's true, it's extraordinary. If it's not, you did not. So yeah, but I think, of course, I'm going to. I seek. Okay, so there are psychics. I seek to find proof. So I want to say the truth. So that's why I think I'd be a great candidate for this subject when I'm allowed to talk about it, and even talk about the process, because it was like to travel. I literally started out with in another frequency with an expedition team, more or less. We don't, as far as I know, we don't bring weapons per se. Now there is a place. It's like an astral. Like it's space, but it's the astral space, and there's astral debris. And I was with a two-party team, but I was there in the ship, and they basically clean up the astral place. So I'm starting to. Okay, so okay, I can tell this story. So there are times where I would be in a dimension, and somehow I would go farther out than what I maybe even wanted to go. And I ended up in this space, and usually we call this limbo. It's like it looks like being inside of a lava lamp. Have you ever seen those beautiful lava lamps and it has colors and it's all lit up when you turn it on? It looked like that, but you're not like, as far as I understand, you're not immersed, submerged in liquid per se. It's like everything looks like that all around you. And with nothing, no sense of gravity, no sense of, like, here on earth, like the comfort of gravity, the comfort of the ground, feet on your ground, you can lay on it, right, as some sort of guarantee of security. Yeah, in that space, you can feel all around. It's kind of like if you were swimming, and well, what I did was, because I couldn't feel anything all around me, not ground or nothing, I like, oh gosh, I did the whole, scrunch down, and I was like, and two angelic, like, well, they had wings, whatever, and they were like, they just came and collected me and took me to a plane, and dropped me off, and then slowly by slowly. By the way, when I travel or visit, there's always some sort of law enforcement. Always, like there's always like or people that are designated, more or less, and they always wear the same, like, uniform, obviously, and wear black or some sort. Like, you can distinctly see them, and oftentimes when I've traveled, I would see a big ship, and also it's like the same big ship, or it's like other ships, and you could like tell it's from the same enterprise, more or less. And you know, it's like they, they when they get a hold of me, they always like get me to relax, more or less. So I started having these, because there, I guess the inhabitants there, sometimes they, well, they live, I guess, considered that they live there. Um, well, I'm speaking to them as if I think they're sentient, but if I was to think of them as such, it's like they're checking out something, like we would check out asteroids that fell in, into our orbit, right? Or they fell into down into Earth. It's like the same thing. It's like, "Ooh, what are you? What is it? What are you?" So they actually, uh, you know, pick you up out of that, and meaning we're familiar with alien forms or foreigners, foreign visitors. It's kind of strange to see or think of yourself as the alien. And so, yeah. um, so yeah, it's been a, okay. They want me to be quiet. I can't talk about certain things. But it's like, anyway, it's an ongoing thing. It's almost like, okay, so, okay, I work for, like, I work with, not, well, the wording, okay. I work with companies, right? And it's a matter of, we can contact each other, through email, whatever. They can call if they want. I can call if I want. But we pretty much, we stay in contact, right? So this is okay. In this other plane, we'll say in dream, it's like I have this ongoing communication between themselves and myself, and so that means different case scenarios. But I do go on expeditions with different team, though. So yeah, it could be a different. Doesn't have to be the same team that I'm having these, even if it may be shared experiences with. I don't know if it's a group of, because I know that travelers who are who become very experienced, I'm I listen in to those scary shows at night, 3 a.m. in the morning. People talk about bizarre things. It's like certain people know how to travel. I mean, they're Earth though in our 3D dimension. They're so good at traveling at this that they can even meet each other and they travel together and they go to places. And of course, like mapping, kind of like spiritual astronauts of that frequency world. Um, so myself, I so I don't know if what I'm saying is I don't know if I'm meeting up with other people from this plane and we going on expeditions together. I don't know if that's the case. But when it happens, when it originally happened, um, it was like I remember being okay. I had to get on a plane. I went to the plane. Then I eventually reached the station, and then they were like, "Yeah, you're going, over here. We're gonna go over there. Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna be able to go up there, and we're gonna touch, or we're gonna be in outer realms, outer space." And it was like they talked to me and walked me through it. I'm like, "Wait, what? What are we gonna do?" And then I would, you know, I remember trying to, because sometimes I'm in an airport, so to speak, and I'm trying to like, I'm just gonna just go do my thing. And next thing I know, I'm being ushered in to get on a rocket of sorts, and then get out there, and I'm like, oh boy. And the whole being in like the center of gravity, nothing, knowing that nothing is around, and then you're like, it's like you have to relax at that point. You're like, just surrender, just relax, and then like looking at what we term as the astral realm itself. And in fact, uh, there's what do you call it? Okay, so there has been inhabited places in these, like, okay, so on this frequency, they can actually cultivate, in other words. So a community can come together, like they will start growing food, they build like homes that are like built into the ground itself. There's this, um, you can go outside, for example, and tend to garden. And so yeah, it's yeah, and then there's other things going on as well, like interaction. Yeah, it's very strange. Frequencies. So that those parts, I think I feel that okay. So certain things I can share, I guess, because they're not hushing me up on that part. But there's another front that's very, it's very interesting. Someday, if when I'm given the right time, I guess the right permissions, I will share it. I will definitely talk about it. I'm hoping to talk about it soon, and get more into these experiences, which is beautiful that I'm having them. I've heard so much about them. Yeah. But one thing I can guarantee, um, it is like a yes or a no. I don't like yes or no, but like for you to be up to join, it is a yes or no. Meaning they're going to bring you in or you're not going to. It's either or. But what my understanding is, as far of course I can only speak up to so much, is that eventually everyone does get to go to their yes and become one of those, um, if you're ready, like if you're ready. But it's like you have to be invited, by the way. So you might, if you get turned away, that means you just go to have like the Matrix. like you go, like you just keep going in your way, you know, or on your way, and you just don't think nothing of maybe it's that person that says, "Oh, ain't none of that real." You know, that person is probably chose to go the other way. You know, um, definitely, you know, turned away from joining, I would say. And then I'm going to stop there. So it makes you think, okay, so what else are they talking about these days that, you know, seem extraordinary, unbelievable? What else is true, more or less? Because being that I'm in my own YouTube channel, I talk about anything and under the sun, anything I want to talk about. Why would I need to make this up? So I'm not saying it can't just be the fact that, well, you are in that older group, you know, and you know, maybe your mind has finally put together, you know, the whole Star Trek scenes when they're traveling out of space, and not every other thriller that you watch, you know, it's in sci-fi, maybe it's all come together for you, and now the result is maybe, but I'm saying I'm experiencing these things um, even beyond the astral, like, oh, no, beyond lucidity. So we talk of lucid dreaming. This is beyond, this is, okay, so there's lucid dreaming, and then there's the other stuff. Um, I wouldn't consider this OBE, by the way. It's not OBE. It's OBE is exactly what that says. You know, that like, okay, so that means like OBE going like you yourself get out of your physical self and then go to see if the store is closed or open today. You know, and then you see that, oh yeah, they're open, and you see who's there. That's there's that, and then there's um then the this, so I'm just saying that it's not that. This is, I would say this, what I'm experiencing is more to, well, people the on you know who are in these conversations describe it as more like a remote viewing type of thing, or travel. So they believe it's more psychic related than like an astral self. Yes, your astral self, which is like a light. It's you, but it's like a consciousness. It's a light consciousness. So that's more what I'm experiencing. But anyway, it's like there's this world and then there's that world. And I'm in operations in this world, and I'm also in operations in that world. By the way, not to be confused with the spiritual world and the this world 3D. Like there's a psychic astral world or in situation going on. I do believe it's related to dream, and I think that lucid. Of course, we know from my studies, lucid, when you if you like people like the highlight, right, lucid dream, right, but that's actually like the baby steps. That's when the baby has learned to crawl. So like if you have a lucid dream, you're basically just kind of like you begin to open your eyes and you're seeing color for the first time, or taste, you're recognizing taste. So that's lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming also comes before people who are next stage astro not astral traveling yet. Yeah, well, that's what it is. Well, they're trying to project themselves or have an OBE as an out of body experience. They start with the lucid dreaming and then astral projecting themselves out. So I'm saying I'm doing that one, the astral projecting out. hmm And it's like a continuation, by the way, like a continuation of stories that I'm a part of, or like these, it's like they are expeditions. I keep referring to them. Um, yeah, I forget the fancy word. Uh, so I just refer to them as habitants, but it's like all these different, I don't know if you refer to them as entity, but it's like they organize there. Anyways, so there's that. And who knows what all that means? Like there are many mysteries. Well, biblically they say all the mysteries of the universe will be known to you someday. So, someday we'll know exactly. I don't know everybody's name. Not everybody tell me their name, but like I see what they're doing. But it's definitely, there's no doubt in my mind that this is aligned with astral travel, astral, because there are certain locations that give off the astral appeal. So, mhm. But anyways, I'll keep learning, and I'll just keep seeing what I learn, and try to share it with you if it's important. I mean, if it's something good, I won't share with you every little bitty thing that happens. But yeah, can I? I think I could share this part. Okay, so there's one instance where it was like the reality flipped, and that is like I became so when it flipped, and myself or consciousness was in sort of like it was like being in a building. It had upstairs, downstairs, but then there was a place they said you might as well just relax. You're here till time runs out, I guess. So you might as well just, like, you need to get used to this. Kind of, that was the conversation. So like I was like, okay, so what do we do here? Like I was asking, like, so what do we do here? Like, well, what do you do? And they would, and so this was one location, but where we were coming from another visit. So this is a separate occasion that extended with me going from one area of the building into another one. So when I originally was there, I was traversing kind of like, it's like a hall, but every so feet in perfect, or what do you call it, measurement. Um, so if I let's say I look to my left, there's a big gate on to my left, or door, excuse me, doorway, or then on my right, across from it would be an exact doorway measurements. And here's the thing: if you choose to go into those spaces are actually, they are not their own. They're pocket, but they're not their own realm. They're like realms. Like with, well, no, 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 no. I'm getting mixed up. They are dimensions. So full on like universe and everything. So that means if they can go on expeditions in their reality universe and so forth. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's like a whole thing. um, I don't know if it's called reality necessarily, but that's what they are. Um, and of course, I always talk when I talk about this. I say like there's places where it's just not for people. It's not for like humans. And it might be judgmental biases, but it's just not for like. There's some people maybe that might think otherwise, but it's not as far as I could tell. I was like, well, wow, are these for punishment? And they're like, those are realms, but you don't belong in those realms. If the right choice is to keep, they say stay to the straight and narrow path. So I went all the way to the end of the hall, and then was like, come on, you made it. You didn't get distracted. And I was like, I'm glad to get out of here, because I did step in a few, but I went right back through the door, and then I would end up back in the hall. And the places, I'm telling you, it's it's not like, oh, it's not for the faint of heart. No, it's literally not for you. But I don't even like to talk about it. So then I go. That's when I went. So I went out and I was hanging out in the space. Then later on, I ended up going or waking up in that same sort of next room over. And then we went downstairs, and I was like, oh, I got to get out of here. I'm getting out of here. But it had flipped, and I became sort of, it was like blocked off. I was like sectioned off to where I was just away. My consciousness was not in this realm. And in this room I was. And with everybody else was like, well, I guess I'm gonna, like, there was one that went and said, well, I'm gonna, have a drink. The other one was like telling, kind of like relaxing, or like reclining, like you might as well just relax. There's no point of trying to like shake yourself out of this. Like you just gotta get used to it. This is part of the deal. Which okay, that's as far as I can go with that, because I'm starting to talk too much. But anyway, I will at some point be able to share more. Hmm. Yeah. So now there is one thing about dreams. Like, okay, so people reach out to me about their dreams. I find that I'm very good at interpreting dreams. Like, I have this profound understanding of dream symbols. And they're like, what you said about the dreams, all that came to pass, like that was correct. So I think that, maybe, well, I have a strong ability to like focus, and also an understanding of symbols. And I take notice to symbols and things that, like, I see meaning in symbols. um I even okay, so I took up a class, and this was not like art, like draw art. It was called art, but I studied like paintings and things like that, and I had to write papers on the paintings. So it was, and that was art. So I had to study real art and the history of art, and then um, do paper. So on it, on different subjects. So so I was very fascinated, like the symbols in like in tarot cards of all kinds. What they mean, symbolisms, um, and dream symbols. Like anytime I go to like the university, if I go to a campus, when I look on the ground, I also see symbols. Like it starts out where I see like the planetary symbols that represent, the constellations, the stars. Then I begin to see symbols that I don't know where they come from. And then it become even more elaborate where my mind just cannot, grasp hold onto any one part of the symbol and remember it. Like even very simple symbols get lost. So like I have to like if I tried this before, trust me, I know what I'm saying. So I would see a symbol, and oh, by the way, there's infinite symbols. So, like where I like you, he's like try to, write out these symbols, and it just keeps going. So like it was just a very simple symbol, and I traced it on my hands because I had realized that when I wake up, I still come back with nothing, but I could remember the impressions on my hand. So I looked for the simplest symbol, and immediately I drew it in this dimension because I was already forgetting it. Yeah. The rest, there were other simple symbols, but yeah, they faded. So I captured one. So, and I, focused on it. I meditated. I was like, wow, I did get away with one. But yeah, whenever I visit like locations like an institution, especially like a university or college, yeah, which is interesting because the history of before college was called university, it was just called universe, and the foundation of university is European. Okay, I'm pretty sure there are many schools, including there's a school of mystery, that Daniel was in charge of in the Bible. So, but we're talking about a university for like science, and in this case, well, when you walk in, that has the whole universe painted on the ceiling. So it was all boys university. You know why? The history, but you know, but I'm sure that okay, but women obviously come in later and also other minorities, but it was all men. Universe was what they called it first, and then they began to call it university. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was a place, in other words, to study science, yes, and to study the universe. That's what it was for, and everything in it, and how does it apply to humanity, I guess. A little bit of some metaphysical principles in there. Aristotle wanted to create a science where people could study themselves. Hence, literally, the book is called Metaphysics. And then from metaphysics, Aristotle's metaphysics, branches of therapy, psychology comes out. And it was an instrument or tool. He had to prove that it was a science to people who wrote the rules of what makes an idea scientific versus a theory. And he had to prove that it was indeed science so that people would see it as a social commodity, because that's a part of it being a product being a scientific, if it's something that society can use or service from. So he had to prove all of that, and argue this to the old philosophers of that day. But anyway, so that's where the whole book, that's who coined the word. Now, all of the methods and things, that belong to its distinctive cultures before, obviously, Aristotle. But Aristotle is the one that finally gives it a name that we all use today, excuse me, that we all do use today, including if you're a therapist, if you're a psychologist, um, you don't talk about it. You maybe your insight, you're not, looking at it from that metaphysician mindset of what any of this means, but you know that Aristotle has a major role, like even just generally reading about psychology. It goes all the like Aristotle is mentioned, and I know others too, but Plato somehow, somebody like Plato reminds me of that friend who's like, I see you doing it, so I'm gonna get on that. He reminds me a lot of that. Like he started, a lot of the what they call it, hermeticism, and it's I don't. It's like its best modern attempt to, and then of course it goes into the golden dawn. It's like, okay, now everybody else want to make tarot cards. So I'm more, so okay, so there's a painting, as again I took the art and things like that. There's a painting of Plato and Aristotle standing together, on top of steps, and they're great philosophers, and there's all these people around listening to them, like, you know like, it's like, oh my gosh, they came up with pi, so, uh, Plato. So, things like that. I think. Let me see. Who came up? Or they talk about pi, something like that. To my understanding, no, that was Simon Davis. My bad. Or was it? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, let me ask. I think I went over my head, you guys. Um, It says accurate to 3 digits. This is Karl Popper conjectured that Plato knew this expression of, right, what I'm talking about, but of pi, that he believed it to be exactly pi, and that this is responsible for some of Plato's confidence in the universal power of geometry. Okay, so I'm kind of right. Plato's approximation of pi. Okay, so that's what that painting means. And then so Plato and Aristotle, even Aristotle discusses the four elements, which that comes from his book of metaphysics. Well, Plato said this is the work in which Plato discussed the four elements: earth, air, fire, and water, and associates them with four of the regular polyhedra, the cube, the octahedron. Yeah, so Aristotle explains this as well. So, anyways, so that's what I'm saying. Plato talks a lot about these things, but he's brilliant. That's why he's Plato. Of course, Hermeticism is huge. He also said some things that would get him that would actually would get him canceled. Well, when cancellation of people based on their 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 speech, was a thing. It's not a thing anymore under this administration, but maybe like last administration, he definitely would have been canceled. And I only said that I would talk about it as a threat. I like, look, if you guys keep trying to come for us, we will we'll say what Plato said and get him canceled. So I said I wouldn't bring him up or wouldn't read that as long as I'm just having fun with that. So, yeah. So, anyways, what I'm trying to say is that all of the branches of like ways in which humanity even looks outside, like Christian Science, for example. Um, Although that has always been a thing, and would have been a thing even without encountering Aristotle's work. But Aristotle he coined metaphysics that allows for one to seek after the universe outside themselves, and God in that, the gods or God in that universe, and themselves connected to it. And because he believed, like Carl Jung, when Carl Jung visits the East and discovers mysteries that the West would need meditation, for example. And then when he came in the 60s, what followed with him were Christian Science and all the like prosperity gospels and all these kinds of alternative spirituality followed, and of course, and then breathing it into the society because he felt that the West would become like the whole Cold War thing, like depressed and that gray computer, you know, formulas like locked in your brain, and just like just absorbed into work. It's like you could use meditation. You could have a full life, and he thought of that. It's like he changed his ideas. Of course, he says a lot in regards to my work as a psychic, meaning symbols. So there's appreciation for him there. Like, but guess what? Plato did too. Plato, okay, so Golden Dawn people, I felt like Levi because the reason why I chose Levi, because I said I want to stick as closely to the Bible as possible. So I said Levi, uh, Tree of Life, and then they also have a Tree of Life, but their tree looks it looks different than um yeah, it looks different. And you could tell there's a difference. So I chose the one that was more closely or in the same path as like the Bible. And then but most people will follow more like the Golden Dawn, the Hermetic, which I believe these are the intellectuals, like people who are really smart, like intellectually book smart, usually tend to go with Golden Dawn. Not that the path that I follow, but it's just like smart people sometimes they want to see anything outside of that's facts, away from the Bible. So smart people, intelligent people, right? More leaning towards the Bible, probably would have chosen the same direction as that I have. People who are like, there's other alternative ways to, to work with symbols without having to go by way of the Bible. And so here's Golden Dawn. Even though Golden Dawn will, they like wisdom, so they'll incorporate the wisdom of, they would say, of the Christ, something to that effect, or they use the wisdom, not necessarily the story it's in itself. Um, yeah, Golden Dawn symbolisms. I mean, it's fascinating. It's like heavily into the Egyptian side. It's almost um, like Rome meets when Rome did meet Egypt, and then there you have it. Then now you're Golden Dawn. So that's pretty much what it's like, what is there. But yeah, you definitely can see the influence of Egypt and Romanesque in the Golden Dawn. But they tap all symbols, all mystery symbols. By the way, yeah. So I do have an appreciation for the Golden Dawn, and they're going to be here forever. They grew up with side by side other ones, Europe based. Um, yeah. Anyway, so there's that along with it. Um, so yeah, we well, I will definitely continue, to see how we can like grow and advance this even more. That's the goal. We'll continue to do that. Look into things, see if, if it will indeed come together. We want it to come together. hopefully, like we're like, please make this work, let this work. That's what I'm thinking, as everything's more or less snaps into place. Um, yeah. So there's lots of ancient world contributors clearly into psychology, but it's one of those areas that when you read it, you're so like I was amazed when I was reading it, but they don't talk about it after that. It's like they only, you know how it is. You get your information you need and you fill in that bubble. That's you, or you fill in that bottom line. Like, what answer do you need me to give you? But yeah, that they're there. The ancient scholars are very much present. Hence, when anytime somebody goes to write a book about the subject of metaphysics, they're not going to even mention Aristotle, by the way. Mm-mm. Oh, and they're not going to, if they speak spirituality, they're not going to mention the Bhagavad Gita, by the way, to add. Yeah. So, Aristotle, even Plato, I bet, but they more likely they would commend Plato. They would quote Plato before they ever would, because that furthermore that's Golden Dawn. I mean, that's more like the flip side, not Aristotle and his works, which his works is clearly dominated like the conversation, and that's the one. Of course, modern day, pretty much people are naturally gonna gravitate to Golden Dawn, I would say. Like flat out, there's a room full of people, most likely they're gonna go with Golden Dawn. Um, yeah, especially today because people are interested spiritual path beyond Abrahamic, and Golden Dawn is a perfect match for that. Right, because you don't have to acknowledge like the two people in the garden, for example, even so, like it's can completely remove, except of course everyone is saying it's not that I don't like the wisdom of Christ, that I don't like Christ, the story being, but but then they have their own ideas of going beyond their reasoning of like to go with Golden Dawn, for example, to go with their own philosophies, which is okay, but it just gives so much perspectives of where people's interests are, which is helpful because all we have to do is follow the dropped gems, and there you go. It will lead you straight to the direction of the Jesus Christ, with his wisdom intact, of course, but to Old Testament and New Testament alike. So that's a kind of a nice way to look at it as well. Just pick up the dropped gems. Those gems are not lost, just discarded. You just pick them up along the way, and you will find what you're looking for. Um, mhm. So we discussed from traveling to uh, like the different stages of, I guess, uh, finding or locating your path. Um, I don't. No, that's not to say I don't like which one is better. I wouldn't even try to attempt. You would end up with a contrast as like a paper. If you try to do a paper on it, you would end up contrasting the two. Like you'd talk about the differences and you talk about the benefits of both, something like that. And then the person would who reads the paper would decide for themselves which one is better, because you'll have to talk about the fact that um, like in terms of like beliefs, is even different. The difference in their in the religious symbols. I mean connotations, ideas. Otherwise, there would be no depth. You can have more paper, more conversation plus you'd want to open up this because it's this is a big reason why um, you know seeking the golden dawn because it's about knowledge in like factual knowledge like science. So if you're like say what tired of being told just because just believe it just is, then you like, well, this is a way where it allows you to tap into that gnostic, because it definitely encapsulate Gnosticism, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Let's see. We know it's hermetic. Okay, so here it is. Oh, obviously, it says this is key. Golden Dawn. Tolerance for all religious beliefs is stressed, and symbolisms used within the Golden Dawn come from a variety of religious sources, right? So it says today, people from many diverse religious paths consider themselves practicing Golden Dawn. So I mean, that's there you go. That's in their website. Um, so yeah, they are a magical order. Hermeticism and metaphysics. Um, their focus is the practice of theurgy and spiritual development. Um, it says religious imagery and spiritual concepts, play a major role of the Golden Dawn. It is a school, by the way, so it's associated with Kabbalah. So they say, like instead of saying Kabbalah, they say Kabbalah. It's spelled with a C rather than a K. So it's all these different, you know what I mean? Like they take it and then switch it up. So like the Kabbalah was originally a form of Jewish mysticism, and then they'll make it into Kabbalah with a C and say you mean you say I heard you said Kabbalah. Oh, I hear what you're saying, Kabbalah. So then they have this whole brand new situation going on. Yeah, it's a fascinating group. But yeah, I there was like three paths that notably I needed to choose from when I was deciding like what deck of cards, because the deck does that matter, that because the symbols are so vast. And I said I need the one that's the Levi path, and then that was the Rider Waite. So now, regardless of the deck I get, whatever the culture of the deck, I always read it as like, for example, now this is definitely more like Carl Jung, but it leans more like into uh, the Rider Waite, and a lot of like everything is intact, so I can read these exactly, even although the symbols are different. Now I like to use these. I feel comfortable using these as like whenever I want to discover dates, but the reality in my 3D senses, these are the same amount of cards, and every card symbol that corresponds with the Rider Waite are these. It's just that I just like the feel of these. When I say, oh, let me check my psychic calendar, I always grab these, so to speak, right? Yeah. Um, now, uh, In my opinion, I think that any journey is a right journey. It's a correct journey. You can travel Golden Dawn's journey. I'm not speaking against them or saying, "Oh yeah, this one is the better one," or "Well, don't you want to connect with the Abrahamic faith?" So you don't have to do it because you're like the reason. Well, when you say Abrahamic faith, what are you talking about? Well, the Kabbalah is was a Jewish tradition practice, spiritual practice. It's a spiritual practice in the Jewish tradition of the Old Testament Bible, Jewish, what I'm speaking on. That makes sense. Hebrew goes all the way back, traces all the way back to where when they then called Hebrew. So there's that, but not for the sake of, well, because it's in the context of the Bible, you're thinking, well, let me just choose, the angel one. It's not because like, oh, because this is the good path. You want to choose the Kabbalah, rather than, venture out some and explore and grow your mind. So it's not about that at all. I think that all of them have their own way. Kabbalah does come from Kabbalah, and that's okay. It to me looks like believers seeking, because that's what it's about. It's just like when in my studies, when in studying the Golden Dawn, like Hermeticism, a torch of knowledge, that's associated with. There's stories where it is said that Mercury or Hermes gave men light of knowledge, but also there's stories where in the mythos where a Titan gave that knowledge as well. Titan who gave man knowledge. And also it's believed, of course, he gave Thoth, which Golden Dawn do follow Thoth. That's because it goes back to Egypt. So there's that, or the mysteries. Amen. Okay, yeah. Prometheus. Okay, so there's that story, but then there's um, let's see what it says about Hermes. It says in Hermes' story, that he gave that by way of communication. That still says Prometheus. It still gave me the one about Prometheus. Come on, there's Mercury who gave the Thoth. I know we know Prometheus story. Maybe it's the fire bit. Okay, Hermes who gave man fire. Here it goes. Greek god of fire, Hermes, was also known for his cleverness and resourcefulness. He invented fire and use of fire sticks, which he essentially for cooking and warmth. His invention, Hermes's invention of fire, is a significant aspect of his myth, as it symbolizes the beginning of civilization and the ability to harness the elements for human benefit. His role as a messenger and protector of travelers, hence, and so when you become seeking for fire, let there be light. That concept, right, from the taken borrowed from the Bible, is the torch and to light your way, as in your intelligence. Like they also another intellectual parable where it says, and there is the light and the dark does not understand it, meaning that the dim light, people who are dimmed in the mind, whose minds are not open, the bright minds to comprehend the light in the dark. So it's meaning that you're traveling through the maze of the mind, but your intelligence or the fire, the light of your mind, of your intellect guides you out of throughout the corridors that you may find your way through. So the messenger, his role as a messenger, protector of the travelers, further emphasizes the importance of fire in the lives of people, as it is often associated with warmth, guidance, and safety. So, yeah, so Hermeticism is about receiving fire, as in the benefit of humankind, which in turn, like knowledge, spiritual guidance, safety, security, things like that. Building civilization, of course, that to bring in that Thoth, which is that brings connects Hermes or Mercury to Egyptian. Of course, the pyramid is all about what you see that all throughout, pharaohs and so forth on, and the symbols that are Egyptian in the Golden Dawn Hermeticism systems, and to more or less to build upwards, to build up, in the civilization in their minds, or or their structures in their lives. So, and again, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, but all of that is correlation. All of that correlates. Sometimes I keep thinking that I'm in over my head, but I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. I know this. I was like, I remember. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I remember studying that. It's like it comes back to me. So anyway, so there. See, I told you there's a lot of information that I can share with you that I don't talk about. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like when people talk about it, it just like it comes back to me. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, and also add this, and so I'm gonna to get more into these types of conversations as the channel is growing. That's the intention. But there's other books or or things that I have in my possession, that are actually volumes. So yeah, volumes. That's I'm thinking volumes as in volume, like there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of information or knowledge, I should say. I've already vetted it. It's metaphysic. And yeah, that's after I reached 3,000 watch hours. So I'm working to get there. I'm working. I'm getting there. I am. And yeah, that you're gonna have new information, things that I've never talked about in a live before. So it's no, yeah, which I typically do that anyway. It's just that this is information that I'm willing to share here. It's a pleasure, Ethan here. Sure. Mm, I got you. Please. Hmm. Hmm. Got you. 1,000%. Right. That's the energy that he was giving me. Like this person, everything you said, not to repeat what you said, but when I read it before, he gave me the idea that this man could care for less. And he's not the pick. I get the sense that you switching it over is gonna be, as you say, better for you all the way around. just simply out of the fact of like out of the idea that, I want to respectfully just do a great job, what I'm asked to do and what I truly believe in. I believe in you believe in what you're doing, what I'm saying. They said that your past experience in the future, like in the future, right? And you've had past experiences with him. They say that you would have felt that he has at times tried to thwart your efforts or undermine your efforts in some way. And the readings is saying that this path where you're switching to another person altogether is bringing you into by the way, in the entertainment world, they also mention here as well, that in a more comfortable place. Like you should be enjoying it. He's called entertainment for a reason. Even though you're in a different administrative, like more serious aspect, but it still should be exciting. Like teachers, excited about the new sharing the new information, learning, spiritual. They're all kind of like it's connected to so many facets, right, of life, people's lives. You should feel fabulous, not like, oh gosh, I got to deal with this guy again. Thank goodness you're on the outskirts of him because, by the way, he does create a toxic environment, like for those who work in like directly like gossip and stuff, and also like the need of him, like if you have to like depend on him, and you're on his, let's say you were on his bad list, that's total conflict in which he will seek to be like show you who he really is, like you've already seen through the tone. Sure. Mm, 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 right. Exactly. Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And he's also very strategically or meticulous in everything he does. So he's meticulously mean. If he's mean, he's meticulously mean. If he's cut dry to you, he's meticulous at that. Yeah, yeah. This he would be a nerve wracker for a workaholic. Like if you like to work a lot, I mean a good way of workaholic, like work a lot. If you like to work a lot and you enjoy your work, he is poison. hmm The angels, because they said he runs a toxic workspace, and you're on the outside of it. You don't have to go in there. That's so beautiful about where you are with your work right now. You're lucky. You don't have to go in there in that space. It's toxic in there and smoky. Some bad mojo. hmm Switch it out. hmm Ah, whew. My lordy, lordy, lordy. Well, I'm glad that they got their systems together. They seem to be getting through better. That's nice to know. Good. I knew they're trying to do. They're trying to get me to do this on my cell phone. I'm like, don't worry. I'm gonna, do that. But like some people be like, go get the fish and they're like, aren't you forgetting something? Fishing pole? I need a fishing line and some bait. Thank you. I know how to do this. Go get the fish. Go fish. Like at least the minimal, give me a net or a bucket. Yeah, you can even do it with a bucket. Okay. Ooh. She couldn't believe it. I read with her I think yesterday. It's like, well, he finally got back with her, but she wasn't very pleased. She was not very impressed. I'm like, yeah. It's like, this is the first time you met a psychic, haven't you? You've talked to a lot of people, but this is the first time you've actually met a psychic. Like, I can tell. About that, wait a minute. You said, yeah, you said that in our yesterday in our reading, that it's like, yeah, about that. Psychics predict the future, and they don't need to ask you questions. Like she call me back just to say like this is like what's okay. People like ask like and try to get information out of you. Like I didn't even give you their names. I didn't even give you my name. I didn't even give you my birthday. Like how did you do that? They're like checking their phones to see if it's if it's bugged. I'm like no. Anybody who talked to you, anybody talk to you? No, we don't talk to each other in that sense. You know, about that. Psychics pick up information without you telling them, and they also predict the future. Gosh, I'm being arrogant, I know, in a good way. I'm in a good way. Mm. Um, oh yeah, I have my Sunday. So I have Sunday. So it's Sunday and Mondays off. Yeah, so they can contact me in the morning. Or is it what? Hold on. I think no. I think don't. Did I take off Sundays? I'm wondering. Yeah, I took Sundays. I took away Sunday and wait a minute. Did I include a Monday? Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh no, I didn't. It just looks like that. I think because I'm thinking that I took Sundays and Mondays away. Anyway, mornings work better. Yeah. They just have to like get used to me. Um, so I'm in for the day till 10 o'clock, I guess. And so I can kind of hang out a little bit. So I'll hang out, till about 10 o'clock. Mhm. So we have a lot of interesting discussions. And don't worry, the discussions are, going to become even more interesting, much more deeper. Don't worry, we will. We're getting there. Um, Oh yes, and thank you. Yesterday, I even gained subscribers, so I appreciate uh, people subscribing to the channel. We like subscribers organically. Many people are finding us. I love that. Um, Let me see. What do we have today? Ooh, we even have another. We have. Oh no, that's the same. Yeah, we. Oh yeah, we also have more watch hours. By the way, I'm not. I'm not going to hold you, considering that I know I have to reach a thousand. Don't worry, my brain has already said. Well, first of all, let's get to 500. So I'm close. I am so close to 500 watch hours. But it's a thrill to see that, first of all, for the first time, I broke the 300 marker. Um, yeah, like that's amazing to me. Like, whoa, I broke 300. So, yeah, that's so awesome. So it's beginning to happen. So 300, I'll be, well, let me get to 400, and then I'll start saying, oh yeah, I'll be reaching 500 watch hours soon. Because I already know when I get that to the 500, all the focus is 1,000 watch. My first 1,000 watch hours, I'm definitely gonna feel like what's holding us back now, what's stopping us. Like, let's do this. Oh yeah, and you remember it was cloudy? Yeah, it's clear sky now. So I don't know. Can I get away with? Let me see. I'm gonna see. Turn off the light. You look a little murky, murky. Well, it's okay. The rest is like 30 something, like 30 minutes. Y'all don't mind, do you? I told you a few. I told you some stories. I told you that there's other reality beyond realities. We're gonna talk more about other types of subject matter. You've seen me also do some readings. Come on, let you know. Oh, okay. It's not that bad. The murky murky is, yeah. Now, yeah, the natural lighting in here. Okay, we're good. We're good. What tomorrow? Today is, oh yeah, Friday. Okay. So yeah, that's right. I have to get you all ready for this evening. That's why I chose to take the mornings. So like you can something important, get a hold of me in the morning, but like you go enjoy your weekend, I'm gonna go enjoy my weekend. Yeah. Yeah, they did. They came for me. They were like trying to come for like uh my information. I was like, mm-mm, you all the ones that have engineers, you find a way. Because my phone is basic. I have no special techie. Y'all do that over there. Everybody else in the whole world is getting through, but you. You figure it out. Well, they figured it out. It's like, uh-huh, I think you picked up on that I'm not playing any games. I was like, there's the doors on, the lights left on for you. You figure it out. You don't know by now to come in and and be at dinner at on time, then you need to go a few nights and then you'll figure it out. So, well, I'm so happy to hear that they have figured it out and now they get through. So, which means that, yeah, I definitely need to protect, you know, oh, yeah, I gotta spiritually and physically make sure everything is secured. The good thing is we're helping a lot of people today. So I'm keeping it at that. I'm keeping it. Did you help people though today? Yes. I worked with people today. All right. So, mhm. Oh. Mhm. Mhm. Taking the time to shuffle up my cards just a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, I think I also need to do well, okay, I'm gonna be, I think I should write, okay, so I guess I'm developing a time where I write. So what day should I write? Not Sunday. Monday. Well, Sunday is my off day as well. So like Sunday, Monday. Yeah, I should write during those days. So over the next day or so, I'll do some writing. Of course, anything that I write, especially astrologically, what's going on. Yeah, though I share with my clients, but I'm definitely going to share whatever it is that we write about or talk about. I'll share them here and alive. You guys want to be ready for anything. Anything comes up, I'll just need to just grab them and tap right into it. Oops. And there we go. Now we're ready for anything. I just needed to do a little bit of shuffle, look a little shuffling in my cards. Now I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Thank you, everybody. So, whose thoughts? Everybody's thoughts. Hope everybody is getting their day started, and you're going to become more focused, advanced in your process. Some people have some wonderful things going on in their life. Uh, Today, a woman, she's going to go meet with her man. I've been trying to get these two to get together for months. She's finally. I told him to take a journey together. So she's doing something for her birthday, which gave me more now that she would choose her birthday. She was giving more insight. That's the Virgo season, so that's when it's Virgo. So yeah, she's in that Virgo element. She is a Virgo. She's in the healing world. She wants to make sure that the like the elderly have homes. So there's altruistic. So she wants to do things concerning children as well. But it's basically she wants to uh, utilize her abilities to get people homes. I love it. Perfect timing. That in fact, like there are healers, there are people who are like starting up, like healing clinics and things like that. Hers is dealing with homes. That she wants to open up a house and and have like open up a facility, but it's a house, and the residents have their own room. So she wants to do that as well and take care of people that way. That like her in she has a strong connection. Her gentleman is a public figure as well. So we're helping she to become more or less more grounded in that idea because she's more private. But I do believe she will have a taste of the public eye because I believe that the city will recognize her. So when I say public eye, it's because of the city and the nature of her work will put her in the public eye. But he's in the public eye as in, but he does have, I've heard that he has altruistic things as well that is doing. And then, of course, their lives. Well, he needed to, you know, which he does, but social media can mess with your mind. So if you're dating, I mean, when you're dating the person who is a social media public figure, and there's a lot of activity on the social medias, the person who's involved with that person who is in the spotlight, it can it kind of gets to the mind a bit, especially when the person it doesn't even like okay in her case the person is like very much in charge of like responsible, doesn't do the things that the imagination you know kind of writes out to us. Like he even though he's in the public eye in that way, and he has lots of people, women, who are constantly like chatting to him, etc., posting to him, liking comments, commenting to him. But he's always proven he's always he does say it in words, but he also shows it. It's just that he doesn't reinforce it that he is not involved with people because again social media is also a workplace. It's not just a hookup place, but it's like so the nature of the part of the work that's entertainment, for example, um, it gives the of course, with him not addressing it, you know, he's like, well, like it's kind of like, well, why would I do that? That's what you're left with. Like, okay, so why would I do that? Instead of saying, oh, by the way, so we're gonna do this, this, and this, and I want to just make sure that you understand. It's like, well, I said I wasn't doing anything, so he makes it. He's like he makes it sound so mysterious. But then my favorite part, he always makes it up to her though, which hence I said you two need to take a trip. They've been like trying to get them to do this for months now, because this would be the time that he can make it up to her. Like he should have said, "Hey, don't worry, you and me, we're gonna do something, and we're gonna catch up, and we're gonna make up for our lost time." Like he doesn't do that. Like for example, this is her birthday, and she's like getting him to go on the trip, and then she said something to the effects of, well, I can't stay, well, because he's very work oriented. He says, well, I can't stay out of town for long, like was like 3 days, so like 3 days together. So there's some things, some things he has to work out, but he's like, just trust me, but needs to still work on reinforcement, positive, or excuse me, let me reword that, beneficial reinforcement. He has to work on that still, but that doesn't mean that in which he is still her life partner. He's still her companion. They're companions, and they do have some wonderful things set for them in the future. Anyway, they're going to finally take this trip that's going to help them to bond stronger. So yeah, that's very lovely, very lovely. Good for them. So yeah, definitely this has been a positive read. I think she forgot that I don't forget her. She was like, well, I talked to you. So I said, I talked to you, so what I did is I started like, oh yes, remember this? Details. Oh, you remember talking to me? Well, I remember details talking with you. like, like, don't be thinking that I forgot about you. I could never forget you. You're special. Oh boy. Anyways, her special man, and she's special to him. They're going to, you know, make up finally. Yeah, it's gonna be a. I've already blessed it, by the way. She called me right on time. I opened up the atmosphere. They're gonna have a lovely experience and safe one as well. And yeah, we have a match made. So, did you know that the card for the lovers is actually, let me see, let me show you that this card actually is Gemini. Okay, that, Gemini is considered an intellectual type of sign, right? But the story of the Gemini twins, right, is actually, those are soulmates. That in the beginning, um, the soul was whole, it was one. And the way it goes is that they became they became halved, separated, and having to find each other again to become whole again. Kind of like human experience. So hence souls are always looking for their other half, or hey, I'd like to introduce you to my better half, my other half. Um, yeah, it's the lovers. So yeah, so they're becoming the lovers. And of course, astrologically, remember that Gemini is is a sign. There are many soulmates, by the way, but there's one out of all soulmates that you choose to become your twin flame. Yep, and it's democratic. That means your other half, though it's destined, right, to happen, your other half, by choice, chooses you in turn. So it's not like you're my twin flame and that's just it. Now you could do that with soulmates and karmic soulmates. And by the way, karmic soulmates can also become twin flames. Yeah, your karmic soulmate could very well be your twin flame. I've seen that this phenomena actually happen this year for the first time. It's really not ever happened before. So yeah, I was surprised. I was shocked actually when beginning to see karmic soulmates becoming twin flames. Or like, who does that? And when did this start? Because definitely a few years ago, we would say, yeah, the person could make this work if they wanted to. They didn't want to, which reinforces that the idea that, yeah, your twin flame chose you. Trust me, they chose you. They chose you through their free will, their willpower, however you want to say it, their liberty, their freedom. They chose you. Mm. So yeah. Um, anyways, who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? So there's um, oh yeah. So there's a lot going on with, okay, the last conversation, I think this is from yesterday, we were talking about like, I've already written out like what's going on astrologically, there are formulas, and that like the big question mark, right? Like what we're looking for is all associated with Mars. And by the way, Mars, well, I looked at it yesterday. Mars is in, guess who's dominant? Venus this year, channeled through Libra, if you've been following. But Mars is, okay, so Venus is in the fourth house in the sign for Cancer, right? Beautiful. But we're looking at, even though Venus is a part of the formula that we're left with Mars, we're looking for Mars. Mars is in the house of Libra, but also the constellation for Libra. So that's so interesting that it's, there's a lot going on with that formula, by the way. I can even draw it up. I even have well, you have it by thumbnail. So let me see. So yeah, you have the thumbnail. I just want to look at the formula. Okay. Um, yep, fourth house. So Saturn in retrograde in Aries in the house. There are a lot going on for the sign for Cancer. Fourth house is the moon. Okay. So in the moon, okay, in the Capricorn, that represents, okay, the organizing of the house. The second house is Taurus. That's your personal house. Is Venus in the sign fourth house Cancer. Cancer in the with the Venus aspect talking about the house, and then the house in the house of Libra, which is the seventh house, where Venus is dominate and all that. Mars was the question mark, but that's the one with the question mark, and then as it relates to Pisces. So there's a lot of things that are being revealed to us, but it's happening to us while we're in motion, while we're active or in action in things. And the Mars and Venus are actually pulling on each other. They're gravitating together. They're connected. So which that gives us our answers. Yep. So that's what's going on in that space, in that regard. Great. I mean, that represents a great deal of healing in the matters of the heart in so many areas and ways, including in finances and wealth, stability, especially in unions. Right now, this is a very lucky time for marriages and also psychic unions, spiritual companionship, or spiritual unions. I'm seeing that happen as well, where people are married in their own way. If they're not married on paper, they're married in psychic way or spiritual way, or however they define what a union is. But marriage and let's say inheritance, all of that right now is synced in, is linked. All of that is a link. So there's a lot in that space that's happening, or things, a lot of things that's going on. in terms of like development, but also it can represent development as like your life path or your soul journey, like your like what am I supposed to do in this world? Like you're also people I'm finding are marrying their life purpose. So they're becoming married within themselves, married or or in union with a companion, things like that. Uh, Aligning in a partnership with their tribe. So it's all which I was saying this for a long time because we've been saying that this year Venus is dominant. Of course, we now have the formula for it. Uh, yeah, it's oh yes, August 22nd. So I'm already receiving information regarding next year, 2026, and if it starts, I start receiving new information for the new year over uh, on the 15th of August. So now we're in the 22nd. By the way, information will I'll continue to get information throughout the rest of the year, at least well into November. So yeah, but as it flows, I will definitely channel it. I'll channel it out. Um, and yeah, they haven't named 2026 yet, so I don't have the name yet. Or in the name, I'll know what the year's about. So I haven't received that just yet. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. Oh, and if you have intentions to have meetings, so so I have this meeting. How's it gonna go? Don't skip any meetings. Go to your meetings. Don't be thinking, well, what about all the retrograde is going on? Don't worry about that. Just make it to the meetings. You need to be in your meetings, making your meetings at this time. And it's not just a window for like this is like trajectory long term. So like long term relationships of all types, but yeah, throughout September. That's my point. Yep, throughout September. Good for you. Good for you. This is wonderful. In fact, your focus should be like mid September. I know to me, I think all of September, but to be specific, um, it goes like this. So there were 3 weeks. 1 week has passed, which places us into this past Wednesday. From past Wednesday till end of August is approximately 1 week and a half, or half of the 3 weeks. So the rest of the things, like action wise, perhaps that you've needed to accomplish and do, you're here. September happens is the next 2 weeks after September. So roughly 3 weeks, you're saying? 3 weeks and whatever, and some change. 3 weeks, and what's left of this one, so to speak, uh, is important towards soul tribe, soul mates, companions, your home, your agreement and covenant with your home, um, and your work, as in your personal projects, your private projects or independent plans. All of that goes into this space, which we're going to talk about it more and more. Don't worry. We're definitely going to hold some conversations, because they're going to ask, the clients will ask, we're going to get insight from spirit through the interception, and then interpretation and impartation with clients, and then through the interceding you will get information from spirit, because spirit is so wise, that information that we all can use, that we all can benefit from the spirit. engaging us. Yeah, so I'm going to keep in a close eye on things, and who knows? Hopefully, we'll get something for us, for ourselves as well. We continue to grow. By the way, this channel is developing. This channel is growing. I'm so happy about that. Thank you so much. I already did like a positive sort of live, I guess, to celebrate that. Um, the channel now is making breakthroughs, and that I'm acknowledging that universe, I think, is ready to do work, do whatever the work that universe has in store for the channel. That I get to be a part of it this time. I feel like I'm a part. I'm not an observer. Oftentimes I'm an observer, but I have a role to play, and in the growth, in the direction of the channel. My personal direction, of course, I'm thinking live venues someday. I'm thinking publishing a book. Now, universe plans, like they say, I never thought in my wildest dreams. I'm referring to that. Things that you didn't put out to the universe, you would have said, I just would have settled with, just having the job to say that, because it looks great on the resume, but then something much larger happens and nor did you anticipate it, but it happened and you're like, wow. So I'm referring to that. I'm hoping that I definitely keep in alignment. That's the goal. To keep in step with you. I'm going to keep in step and continue to develop and expand my mind. Even I am trying to approach this with an open mind and be open to anything, everything. Excuse me, not just anything, but to be open to everything that is coming through. That's going to give you know everybody, including myself, a benefit. Is what that's the key. That's what we're hoping for. We intend to, as we manifest, we're tending to manifest these things. Mm, yeah, do a little create a little symbol here. Boy. So 4 more minutes to hang out, and then I'm gonna take a break. I could come back in at 10. I could come back in a little later, which I was gonna do yesterday, by the way. I know. But then I'm like, I had the weirdest experience. Oh my gosh. So you know how people like this literally made me check on like where the planets were, and yeah, this time frame we described is about marriages, all that, and you'll hear that people are getting married this year, all of that, right? I've been saying that since last year. Well, somebody contacted me and asked me if I was interested in an affair. Oh my gosh. I do readings on affairs and I accept that as a reality and part of life. Um, and I remove my moral judgment out of it, but my compass for myself intact, you know. So, because look, everybody has a minister, everybody has a therapist. Everybody has, an actual judge who was voted in to preside over their county. Like everybody has a reverend, everybody has a prophet, everybody has a doctor, a nurse, a hospice nurse, a friend who visits them. Everybody has that already. I am their psychic. And though I give very specific information, I also help guide to healing and higher vibrations that they can connect with as they are having a human experience. So when they go and speak to their person who they're like a bishop, who they're looking for the moral opinion, then they also are elevated mentally, psychically prepared to receive insights, have an insightful conversation with their therapist or psychiatrist or psychologist, whoever is doing the work. And so that's the way that I read. And then because as I'm answering very specific questions like will either of them, because they both are married, so will either of them actually like leave? No. And not in their case. Nobody leaves nobody. Like, and no one's open to it. No one's looking for that. Does feelings get mixed up in it? No. They have an understanding. Although the person, when they open up the reading, they introduced it to, they said, would you like to have an affair? When they said that in the opening, I rerouted it and began reading for them. They are involved with the person who is married, with themselves also being married. And then so my task was, what will that experience be like? That's it. Um, do I want to have an affair? Um, I don't have any. Like my answer to when I answered the question, I said I don't have any connection to anything or any of this. Um, so it's like, do you want to hear what Spirit has to say, and regarding, the connections that you are experiencing at this time? And so I brought the person in, and then we begin to cover these topics. And it's like, they have a few people, like two, and they're like, so it's like, or they're like curious, like, is it somebody that by chance I haven't met yet? And then of course, it, obviously we found the one that's being isolated in the reading, and so I was able to help. Well, anyway, I have to stop there. So that gives you an idea of what's going on in my world. Again, I steer away from the guru stuff. I don't do guru stuff, as you already know. Oh, by the way, all my numbers in the green. I'm so happy about that. None of it's in the black. And we'll talk again soon.